It's funny how the word apostate has changed its meaning recently, isn't it? When I hear the word apostate now, I only think of people leaving Islam. I never think of people leaving Christianity, Sikhism, Judaism, Hinduism, or any of the other religions we have in the United Kingdom. You just hear the word apostate, and it's got a negative overtone to it. And it only has to do with Islam. That's how far into our cultural fabric this whole idea has embedded itself. I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. So, this is an article published by the National Secular Society in August 2024. British ex-Muslims already unfree face perils of worsening censorship. And here they're talking about the proposed blasphemy laws, because it means that any Muslim who wants to leave Islam, obviously, they're going to have their quibbles with Islam. They're going to be annoyed with the way Islam is set up. They're going to have doubts about how genuine Muhammad was as a prophet. They're going to be criticising the practices that have grown up in Islam over the years. And all of that will fall foul of the proposed legislation that's going to be put in place by the Labour Party if we have their party guidelines on what Islamophobia is. So you're going to end up with the surrealistic prospect of ex-Muslims being prosecuted for Islamophobia. To mark International Apostasy Day on the 22nd of August, Dr. Ben Jones reflects on his recent research into the experiences of ex-Muslims and their increasingly precarious position in Britain. So you see, they are also threatened. There's this article here, which is from 2019, also published by the National Secular Society. Islamic charities push death for apostates and, of course, female subjugation. 4 Islamic charities are promoting material suggesting apostates should be killed. Women should be subordinate to men, including by accepting marital rape, and homosexuality is not innate. The National Secular Society has reported the charities to the Charities Regulator, the Charities Commission, after NSS research found they link to or explicitly carry extremist material on their websites. The Labour Party isn't addressing that. It's simply coming up with the idea that Islamophobia exists and that we should be legislating it out of existence to the extent of telling people they shouldn't even think such things. Now, what really interested me was when I started looking this up, doing a bit of research, I just checked apostates from Islam in Google. And I got this page. Now, this is the first thing that came up is hate crimes in the UK against ex-Muslims. We'll get onto that in a minute. And then the As-Salam Institute, apostasy among Muslims, right? And then there are these articles. How many Muslims leave Islam every year? National Secular Society, Wikipedia, and then an article in The Guardian, and this is what most interested me. That was from May 2015. The next article that has a date on it is a BBC article from 2015. And there's nothing from this year or even from a couple of years ago. Next page. I'm looking for something with a date on it. 2015. There's one here from 2024. Again, 2015 here. 2015. This one, 2018. There's one here from 2020, 2014, 2015, 2015, 2015, 2014. The point is that all the first things that are coming up about apostasy, Islamic apostasy, is they're very old. Now, it looks like anything that's happening now is either not being, nobody's paying attention to it, or it's being news about it, information about it is somehow being suppressed or being shoved to the end of the queue. Now, we know that important people, for instance, who want to bury stories about them that aren't exactly complimentary in some way, they pay companies to flood Google with stuff that will go ahead of the stories they don't want. And then the stories end up at, like page 100 or whatever on Google. So, in fact, they don't get seen. And I don't know whether that's happening here, but it's very odd that all these stories, the first pages coming up, they're all stuff from 2015, 2013, 2017, 2017, 2010, 27, 2015. It looks like 2015 was almost a sort of cut-off time for criticism of Islam, or rather for articles about Islam losing ground. And I thought that was a little bit creepy. I was a bit worried about that, but I can't give any other theory beyond my knowledge of what VIPs do to skew the Google results for themselves. So back to this woman says she's a lesbian and she wanted to escape her family and she was imprisoned by them. Her sister betrayed her and revealed that she was in a covert same-sex relationship. And she managed to alert a friend who contacted the police. But despite numerous police visits and the involvement of the CPS, she remained in her parents' house. I don't know how that happened. She had no choice but to begin planning her escape. Her parents monitored and shut down her internet access, inspected her room, and would regularly burst in to see what she was doing. Look, this is an awful situation, but it is by no means unique. These stories keep cropping up all the time. What I want to know is why they're not cropping up in these search results here. Look, I'm on page 4 and nothing about that has turned up yet. So anyway, this is from the As-Salam Institute. They say freedom of thought and belief is an important ideal that deserves to be respected by all communities, especially when it is expressed in the form of the positive religious virtues of tolerance, forbearance and patience. Yeah, well, some people may suggest that Islam doesn't have very tolerant attitude to such things as apostasy, but there you are. In response to a question about whether there's a punishment for Muslims who leave the fold of Islam, the charity says, that is the Islamic Centre in Leicester, all the schools of thought agree that a person's apostasy must be proven by the testimony of 2 male witnesses. Furthermore, all agree that the apostate's punishment is death. I wouldn't call that tolerant myself, but then, yeah, what do I know? And then the As-Salam Institute says it's a serious failing on the part of Muslims, of their families and their teachers and their institutions, that they are unable to deal with the doubts and questions from within their own community with tolerance, forbearance and patience. And that's perfectly reasonable to say, by the way. So, but they are not being helped by our present government's attitude to Islam generally, with the possibility of the Islamophobia laws. People like Zainab, that's not her real name, by the way, people like Zainab are going to be in far more danger, because they are going to end up not only falling foul of their own, here, let's get a picture back, that looks nicer, they're going to fall foul not only of their own relatives, and some of them murderous, but they are going to fall foul of the British legal system as well. And as there's been a move by the Home Office now to make praying silently outside abortion clinics illegal, that means there will be a precedent for thinking bad things against the current orthodoxy, whatever the current orthodoxy is. And the current orthodoxy in the Muslim community is that apostasy is a terrible thing that needs extreme solutions. Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.